Wednesday class again on this slightly warmer, and I think the sun's starting to come out here in Norwich. We've got the wonderful Sarah here in the chat, and I just want to mention that Sarah has finished her final year at the Shiatsu College Norwich and almost complete her diploma, and she practices here. So if any of you are interested in some other treatments from other people, Sarah's brilliant. She's really great. So have a little hi in the chat if you'd like to. Norfolk and Gloucestershire, that's lovely to have you, Liz and Jane, and everybody else who's arriving. Somerset, I love this group. We're like all over the UK, some other places as well. Lovely, great. It is nice to be back again, isn't it? Oh, that's lovely, Kim. Yes, congratulations to Sarah. So what I'd like to do before we get going on the whole session, which we're going to think about our feet today, I'm going to find a poll of how you are coping. So I'm just going to share that here. Here we are. How are you doing? And then we'll have a little think about a scan and tune into what's going on today. Okay, so there's about, I'll wait till the rest of the poll comes in. There's a little bit of a mix between okay, neutral's about 11%, but stressed is 50%, and very stressed 10%. Okay, and 30% of you are okay. So hopefully by 11, we can kind of aim for I'm okay into coping well, particularly if we're stressed or very stressed. Thinking of our polyvagal chart, we have the green zone at the bottom, red in the middle, and the blue at the top into freeze, and we definitely don't want to be up there. Of course, the red zone's not that pleasant sometimes either, but at least we can kind of drop in or kind of peek into that and come back down into the green zone. So we feel quite calm and have a regulated nervous system. Okay, hello everyone who's just joined. Okay, so before we get moving, oh, hello from Sheffield, wonderful, great place. Come and sit. So you might want to sit on a chair. I'm going to sit on a cushion on the floor. Lovely, and take your time to get comfortable. You might want to kind of rearrange your hips or roll your shoulders, or if you're like me first thing in the morning, yawning. Take a big old yawn, widen the arms and releasing them by the side of the body. Lovely. And you can rest your hands on your legs or round the belly, on the dantian, just below the belly button. We're just going to close our eyes for a moment and just tune into how we're doing, which we've answered in the poll already, but how is that in our bodies? Do we feel that we're a bit kind of blocked or agitated, or is there a weak feeling? Just noticing how we are in our physical being. Yeah. Just holding these thoughts and feelings lightly. We don't have to hang on to them too much at all. Just noticing. Lovely. And then before we draw or write, I'll pop another poll up on the screen in a moment. But we're just going to take some slightly deeper breaths. If we're feeling stressed and the breath's a bit caught around the diaphragm or in the chest, we're not going to force the breath down. We're just going to see how deep we can take the breath without feeling panicked or stressing out anymore. So if we breathe in through the nose and then breathe out through the mouth like you're blowing through a straw, slightly longer out Exhale, out breath, breathing in through the nose. And breathing out through the mouth like a straw. Here we go. Excuse me, shifting something. One more, breathing in through the nose. And then breathing out through the mouth. And then returning to a natural breath. Great. And then from here, just going to very gently open our eyes if they're closed, and then releasing the hands from the belly if they were there. If you've got a piece of paper, a pen or pencil, and you just want to draw an energetic drawing or what you feel like, you might want to write some words down. Hello, everyone who's just joined. You don't have to draw. You might want to just think about what that was like, or particular areas in the body that you kind of want to work with. I don't know, I've got a strange thing going on today. It's not quite my usual. So I've got a slight pinching around the back of the neck, slightly going in between the shoulder blades, but not much. A huge feeling in the belly. And then I don't know what's going on with my legs. They feel quite skinny and zigzaggy. You might not look like that. You might look a lot smoother and more grounded. So we're going to have a little work on that. And maybe at the end, we'll draw another one and maybe compare the two. So if you're still drawing or writing some words down, take your time. I'm going to put that to one side. Lovely. Okay. So thinking of your scan and tuning in with the body, we're going to do a little poll and see which one kind of connected to us the most. So I'm just going to have a little look for it. There's quite a few on here. Where is it? Here it is. Which of these best describes your scan? Do you feel well and balanced? Are you blocked or obstructed? I've got a little bit of blocking around the kind of base of the neck there. Weak or tired, hot or agitated, or cold or frozen? Yes. I tend to think that when we get stressed, agitation comes in and we feel a little bit hot or blocked and obstructed. Sometimes it also then makes us feel quite weak and tired. If you're feeling all of those, I really hope not, but that's also possible. So obviously you can't click on all of them, but we're just going to choose the one that kind of is there the most. Okay, so at the minute it's blocked or obstructed, then weak and tired, or hot and agitated. Nobody's in the well and balanced section. Hopefully, right, we've got 50 minutes to see if we can get into the well and balanced section. But again, no stress on that. So we'll see how we're getting on. Okay, so the feet. Today, we're going to work our wonderful liver 3. We've tuned into it lots before. And I've also brought with me today a reflexology chart. There's some parallels to this and the Chinese medicine meridians in our feet, but some of them aren't the same at all. So it's just very interesting to see the difference. Great. Oh, Jane, you're very welcome. All right, so before we come up to standing, you might want to sit on the floor or take a chair, or if you've got some lovely person at home, they might want to do it for you. Great. Okay, so I'm going to rub the hands together, create some qi, warmth. Easy breath. And you can either have the foot close to you or across your leg, do whatever feels comfortable. And we're going to take a hold of the foot and give it a good old squeeze. Oh, does that feel good? That's lovely. Into the heel and the sole of the foot. You can be quite firm with your feet. Of course, unless they're very sore, we want to be a little more gentle and send some breath into them. But sometimes it's really nice to get in, finding our feet. I remember a long time ago when I was training at the Shiatsu College, the wonderful Celia Little did a workshop, and she said, imagine you're an alien and you've never met a foot before. So get to know the foot, like what movement does it do? Be interested in your feet. We've got that ankle, the heel. Which way does the foot move? We can give each toe a little squeeze and a wiggle. So if you're at home and it's difficult to get to your feet, I will show you another way that we can do so. So everybody else keep squeezing that foot. I'll show very quickly how we can get into finding our feet. With a tennis ball. You can also use washer dryer balls. I think someone once said to me they used an apple. Anything spherical and firm so it can take a little bit of weight. We're just going to place the tennis ball on the ground and roll the foot round. It's really simple. And the same thing, we can be light with the pressure. If we want a little bit more, we can lean on the top of that leg. But if we're starting to clench the jaw and not breathe, I think take a little less pressure off that leg. You can open the toes, go into the instep or the little toe edge. You can roll the heel round. You might just want to rest the foot on the tennis ball or the spiky ball. Quite fun, really. So I'll leave that there. So we're on our first foot still, squeezing the feet. Lovely. So let's get into kidney 1, the point that we love the most. I think you all know where it is, but between the big toe and the second toe, so 1, 2, in between the metatarsal, underneath the ball of the foot, right in the center. I'm going to use my fingertips to send some wonderful, nourishing energy upwards into the foot. You can also do it with your thumb over the leg over, or taking a hold with both hands if that's particularly sensitive. And not forgetting to breathe. Yeah, that's very important. So allowing some gorgeous Qi and energy into this kidney 1 point. Wonderful. And then we're just going to gently release that foot. We're going to give the other foot a squeeze, and then we're going to find point of the week already. So same thing, giving this foot a good old squeeze, or if you can't get to your feet, using a tennis ball or a spiky ball. So rolling, seeing what that feels like, rolling around the heel and the ankle, into the sole of the foot. Releasing the toes a little bit. I'm going to come a little bit closer. I don't know about you, but I love really giving my foot a good old squeeze and seeing what space there is in the whole foot. You know, you can move the foot kind of sideways, flexing it, rotate the heel, the calcaneus bone. It loves circles. Great. All right, I'll sit back a little bit. We don't want to have the foot too long in the air. Lovely. So same thing again, being an alien and wondering how this foot moves and what it does. Great. Manipulating it or gently squeezing it, taking a hold of each toe, giving a squeeze and a wiggle all the way down to the little toe. Or if you're lucky and you've got someone with you at home, maybe you can do one another's feet. That's quite a nice thing to do, isn't it? And we're going to find our kidney 1 again. So big toe and second toe in between the metatarsal, underneath the ball of the foot. Oh, this foot definitely needs it. So obviously we've got 2 different feet. Even if you have 2 left feet, there are 2 of them. So doing what feels good for each foot. And the same thing again, you might not want to project with the fingertips upwards. You might want to take hold of the foot and connecting with the thumb or gently holding around the foot there. Great. So whilst you continue to work kidney 1, our bubbling spring on the second foot, I'm going to get the slides up for point of the week. And we're going to work it whilst we're down on our feet for good reason, because it is on the foot and it's liver 3. It's a wonderful point, the great rushing. It's brilliant for spreading the liver qi. So if we're feeling hot and agitated, it's going to help draw the energy slowly, gently downwards towards the feet. It spreads any kind of stagnation or obstruction. So if we're feeling a bit blocked or kind of stuck, it helps with that. It's really great for headaches, pain in the sides of your head or in your body, tendon pain, and anger and frustration. Oh, great, Jane, brilliant. You've already found liver 3. That's wonderful. So just having a little look on the reflexology chart, I don't know if it actually correlates. No, it doesn't. Strange. So roughly in the same area of the foot, top of the foot, I'll take the slide down in a minute. We've got the heart and a little bit into lungs and chest, and the liver's much further down. So we're going to find liver 3. I'll show this a little bit closer in a moment. So what you want on the top of the foot, we're going to find the big toe, and it's the space on the metatarsal between the big toe and the second toe, kind of like we find in kidney 1. So liver 3, but it's all the way up, and you follow the V all the way up, and there's a little nook towards the big toe. There's a little dip in that metatarsal. So I'm going to release that. And as you can see here, I'll get this as close as I can. So on this top of the foot, yes, that's the top of the foot, we've got the heart here, and then this is lungs and chest, and the liver is here. So it's not too far away. So I reckon like liver 3 is probably about here. So it's not too far away at all. Okay, so we're going to find that lovely liver 3. Sorry, our kidney 1's between the second and third toe metatarsal underneath the foot. Sorry about that. I'm thinking already of the other space on the top of the foot. So we are going in between the big toe and the second toe metatarsal up on the top of the foot. And then we're going to find towards the big toe a little dip here. Okay, so I'll lift up my toe here. You can see drawing a line in that gap between the big toe and the second toe metatarsal, and then finding that groove there to find liver 3. And we can again gently press it with the thumb on the top. You can get kidney 1 underneath, which is second toe, third toe metatarsal. I was touching it, but I said the wrong space. So you can get kidney 1 and liver 3 all at the same time. You might want to use both hands. Yeah, there we are. It's gently releasing, sending some lovely breath and energy, qi, into these 2 lovely points. We're going to do that on the other side. So big toe and the second toe, metatarsal space, drawing up to find that V shape. So the bones start to draw closer. So just before they meet, there's a groove in the big toe side. Sometimes it can be quite painful or feel a little bit like toothache. So gently does it if it's particularly tender. I find it really wonderful for migraines or kind of tension headaches. It's very good for that. And we can also, again, connect in with our kidney 1, which is the second and third toe metatarsal. Can't believe I made that mistake. It's the point we use the most in Shiatsu. Great. Easy breath, sending that in to these lovely points on our feet. Great. And then when you're ready, gently releasing. You might want to stay there for a bit longer. Great. All right, I'm just going to move this out the way and then we're gently going to come up to standing. So taking your time. Lovely. I think you're all doing all right. Yes, great. So it's the same, actually, if you have a tennis ball or a spiky ball at home, you can do this standing. It sends a little bit more weight and pressure in underneath the ball of the foot and into the heel, into the sole of the foot. It's really great at undoing the fascia and the connective tissue underneath. It also helps prevent plantar fasciitis as well. So we can do that with both feet. And then hopefully the rest of our body feels really good. So I'll put that to one side for now. So coming to find our feet on the ground, padding them in, turn sideways. So we're also putting some weight in the heels. Great. A lot of the time if we're stressed out, I love people watching in the city. They're running around on their tippy toes. Actually, how is it to put some weight into the heels? Lovely. And then having an easy stance. Wonderful. And we're going to have nice long legs, but the knees are relaxed and the ankles are relaxed as well. I'm just going to breathe in and draw the arms up in front of us, opening the chest, breathing in, and then breathing out, releasing the arms forward. Yes, here comes the yawn. So breathing in, the arms floating up above our heads. And then breathing out, releasing the arms forward. Just going to do this a few more times, keeping the legs nice and long. Breathing in. Lovely. And then breathing out, releasing the arms. Again, breathing in. Releasing the armpits and then breathing out. If you want to, we'll just do one more. Breathing in, raising the arms over the head. Can keep the elbows soft if we need to. See what room there is in the shoulder girdle. And then breathing out, releasing. Wonderful. Then just give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Great. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit more kind of free form circles through the body in a moment. But first we're going to shift the weight into one foot and we're going to roll the ball of the foot and the ankle round on the ground. So the liver channel loves kind of sideways movements, spirals and circles. It sends the Qi round really nicely and the blood, because the liver, also in Western medicine, it obviously cleanses and cleans the blood. So it's very important that we can get these our lovely livers nice and smooth and change direction. Great. Lovely. Easy through the ankles and the knees. I'll turn sideways so you can see. So still on the standing leg that we've been working on, and then we're just going to gently tuck the toes under. Toes can be further away or a little bit closer. We're not forcing the top of the foot down where our liver channel kind of comes up from that lovely liver 3. We're just going to rock the heel gently from side to side if that feels okay. We've got an easy breath and we're just standing, rocking the heel. And then stepping it out just into a little lunge, seeing what feels comfortable. You might want to rock the front knee, softening it and lengthening the leg, or rolling the hips from side to side. Lovely. And then the same thing again, drawing the weight forward on that supporting leg, gently tucking the toes under. We can hold on to something if we need to, rocking the heel or keeping the foot still. And then stepping out a little bit bigger. Oh, how does that feel? Opening the legs and the hips a little bit more. If you need to make it smaller, please do. Releasing the hips, or you might just want to stay still. And then finding both feet back into parallel. So the leg that we just worked is going to become the standing leg, and we're going to roll out the other foot. Do you know, I think because we've worked our feet already and found kidney 1 and liver 3, the feet are feeling pretty good already. I hope yours are too. I was rolling mine out yesterday and they were pretty crunchy and gristly, and today they're not. So actually connecting in with these lovely points on the feet is already helping to smooth everything out. Great. And then change direction on the circles. They can be gentle circles, or you might tune in and realize your body needs to really get moving a little bit more. Wonderful. And I'll turn sideways again, but staying on that standing leg, gently tucking the toes under, and each foot's different. We might find that it wants to come much further forward. So do whatever feels good, either staying still with the heel or gently rocking from side to side. We've got easy shoulders. We can check in with the jaw as well. Is that nice and easy? And then stepping back, finding the sole of the foot in the ground, having a little lunge. You can stay still, or you might want to have a little wiggle through the knees and the hips, because the rib cage is joining in too. Wonderful. And then the same thing again, sending that weight to the standing leg, gently tucking the toes under, and then rocking the heel from side to side, if that feels okay, or keeping the foot still. And then we're going to find the sole of the foot on the ground again, and if you want to go into a larger lunge, you can, or you can keep it much smaller. Just going to step that back, find the heel in the ground. If that's tight on the back of the leg, keep the knees soft. You can stay still, or have a good little wiggle with the hips around. I don't know, definitely in a wiggly mood this morning. Great. And then we're going to step that foot in and find our feet parallel and drawing them in a little bit closer. They don't have to touch if that's uncomfortable on the knees. So just as close as is comfortable for the feet to be. How's everyone doing in the chat? Oh, yes. Well, I'll have a little read of that in a moment. Okay, so bringing the feet a little bit closer together. We're going to soften the knees, take a hold of the kneecaps. We're going to keep the shoulders nice and wide, so we've got space between the shoulders and the ears. We're just circling the knees, helping to send that synovial fluid around the body, the ankles, the knees, the lower back. And it's kind of spiraling all the way up to the top of the head. If this is at all uncomfortable on the lower back, you can do this a little bit more upright, holding the hips with your hands, softening the knees, and gentle circles with the knees. So do whatever feels good for you. And they can be small, very subtle circles, or perhaps they want to be much larger. And we're going to change direction. Easy breath. And our feet are nice and spread in the ground. Obviously, come out of it and rest whenever you need to. And then gently, gently, we'll let those circles of the knees go. We're just going to soften the knees and arm curl and open the feet much, 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 much wider. Yeah, to whatever feels comfortable. We don't have to have the feet parallel. You can have the toes turned out a little bit. And we're going to just roll the hips round on the top of the legs. We can keep the legs nice and long, or if that's too much on the inner thighs or backs of the legs, soften in the knees. So do whatever feels good for you. You can have the arms dangling or the hands over the hips. Lovely. Easy breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the hips in the other direction. We're spiraling up the body from the feet. We're going to circle all the way to the head. Same thing again, you might want to soften the knees or keep the legs long. And you can go a much slower pace. Lovely. Taking your time with it. Helping that space in the back of the sacrum, the sacroiliac joint, is where the gap between the sacrum and the iliac crest of your pelvis is. So we're easing out a little bit of space there. And we're slowly going to make those circles to spiral all the way in until we find the pelvis just resting on the top of the legs. Wonderful. We're going to walk the feet in all the way underneath. Great. So to get the ribs moving a little bit more, we're going to do this movement that I like to call the hungry hippo. So it comes from the chin. You might want to watch it first. I'll go a little bit quicker. So we're going to breathe in and the chin lifts towards the ceiling. Obviously not collapsing in the throat or the neck. So just as far as is comfortable today. And it's that hungry hippo. So the chin leans forward, softening in the front of the hips and the knees. And then we're folding over the front of the body. And you might just want to come to resting the forearms on the legs, or if it feels okay to hang over the legs, softening in the knees. And then when you're ready, we're going to soften in the knees a little bit more, find the pelvis back in underneath us, uncurl, and the chin's the last thing to untuck. Great, same thing again. So we're going to breathe in, the chin draws up towards the sky. Breathing out, softening in the hips and the knees, leave the arms to dangle. Even if it's just a little way and you rest your hands on the thighs, we still want to make sure that the head and neck's nice and easy, or we're hanging over the legs entirely. Easy breath. And when you're ready, breathing out, softening the knees, finding the pelvis back underneath the spine, and uncurl, and the chin's the last thing to come up. We'll do that once more if that feels okay. You can do this sitting as well. So I'll talk us through it once sitting. Great, so here we are. So same thing, breathing in, the chin draws up towards the sky. And as we breathe out, we're softening forward, so we're folding in the hips. The knees are nice and easy. And if we're sitting, we're just going to see where it feels comfortable to hang over, resting on the forearms. Easy breath. If you're standing, as we breathe out, we're going to soften the knees and uncurl. If we're sitting, we're just going to draw back, use the hands to walk your way all the way back up. And again, it's the chin that's the last thing to uncurl. And coming back to sitting. So you might want to try that once more. I know I've just shown the modification of sitting down. So if you want to try that sitting, you can. It's quite a nice one to do to wake the spine up and get the rib cage moving, particularly if that's blocked or agitated. Okay, so when you're ready, unless you're sitting, you want to stay sitting, we're just going to come back to standing. We're going to roll each shoulder forward and back. And again, they can be tiny circles, or you might want to really get the rib cage involved. So our liver channel runs down the sides of the body. So this is helping to open up this lovely meridian. And then drawing circles with the elbows. They might come up towards the ceiling or much lower at shoulder height. You do whatever feels good, and you can slow it down. I don't know, today I feel like it really needs to shift. Yeah. And then drawing circles with the wrists, making sure you've got space behind you. I have just about. Lovely. Opening the front of the chest. Wonderful. And then gently releasing the arms by the sides of the body. Rearrange, sort your feet out if you need to. I'm just going to take the head to look from one side to the other. Gently oiling the neck and the vertebrae that comes in at the level of the ears on the head. Wonderful. Gently from side to side, so we're not forcing anything on the neck. And when you're ready, bringing the head back to the center. And this is where I'd like to open up like a free-form movement of circles. So if you want to move the hips in a circle, or maybe the hands, or maybe your whole body, so we can move the feet, softening the knees, doesn't matter what it looks like, even if it's just the hands and the wrists, or maybe you want to move the knees. Free form of movement, our free spirit of the liver channel, creatively moving to what feels good for us this morning. Okay, we're releasing the rib cage and the hips. You might want to come down low or much higher. Have a little dance, a joyous dance, and moving the body. Wonderful. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Yeah. Brilliant. And then releasing that, unless you feel free to for the rest of the time if you want to, or maybe at 11 you want to put your favorite track on and have a dance around the kitchen and move that wonderful liver chi around the body. Please do. So we're just going to very gently let that go. If you want to continue with that, please do. Gently, gently coming to standing. Great. So from here, we've got our usual double weighted swings that I thought we could get into just to help open up this space in the waist. So we've got our feet nice and spread. And how is it to soften the knees? And our belly area, I imagine like a lighthouse beaming out. Gorgeous light. Turn sideways. So to help the pelvis find a comfortable place with the knees soft, you brush your hands down the back. Imagine brushing down, putting your hands in your back jean pockets, allowing the tail just to gently drop a tiny bit. Wonderful. And we're going to keep that space between the knees, and our lighthouse shining out from the belly is going to slowly start to move from side to side. Great. But we're going to make sure that we're not swinging in the hips or that the knees don't close. This is nice and strong, just like a lighthouse. Wonderful. You can have the hand on the belly if that's much easier. Moving that light across the horizon. And then we can release the arms. So if we're feeling at all dizzy, keep the head looking forward. We're going to continue this spiral of the body very gently. The knees are soft, the feet are spread in the ground. We're just allowing this lighthouse, this movement from our belly area, the dantian, to shine out in front of us. And we're starting to gently squeeze and wring out the liver channel on the sides of the body. You might really want to start to let the arms go. If you want to do a little bit less, stay smaller and quieter, and you can look forward. If you want to, you can allow the head to join in as well. Great. Easy breath. This is also really good for any digestive issues. So if you're finding yourself a little bit burpy or gas is releasing, that's not a bad thing. If you want to go into a larger movement, we're going to find the feet slightly wider. And as we twist, we're going to release the toes upwards as we twist to that side. And we're pivoting on the heel. So we're lifting that liver 3 up towards the heavens, wrapping the arms around the body. So lifting the foot, pivoting on the heel. If that does not feel okay for your knees, keep the feet planted on the ground. Really wringing out the body. Allowing the arms to be heavy. Wonderful. And then very gently We're going to very gently, slowly bring that in a little bit more. Maybe finding the feet in contact with the ground again. We're still shining the light out from the lighthouse. And then gently, gently, gently releasing it so it becomes much calmer and quieter. And the belly's still shining out the light across the horizon. The knees are still soft and easy. The arms are quietening. And then very gently, that lighthouse light on the belly slowly draws still in front of us. Wonderful. And then just taking the hands on the belly area, we're going to go right hip to right ribs, across to the left ribs and down to the right hip. So circling around the hara. Just allowing everything to settle and to come in to our center a little bit more. I'm just going to check the time. Ooh, it's flying by. And rolling the hands to spiral all the way in and to find our dantian. So we're going to go just a little way below the belly button. 2 sun, which is 2 thumb widths below the belly button. Finding the hands just resting there. We can lengthen the legs so we're standing tall. The shoulders are easy, the head and neck's easy. Our wonderful kidney 1 underneath the sole of the feet are connected into the ground. We've got that liver 3 on the top, so it's drawing energy downwards from the head. Lovely. Easy breath. Still yawning, so seeing what's shifting. Great. And then releasing the hands. Wonderful. So I thought we could go into some dough in for our day. I'm just going to come and have a little check on the chat, how everyone's doing. Ooh, what's this? Wonderful, Jane. You did a castor oil pack for the first time, a liver detox. That sounds amazing. Yes, we do have happier feet. That's wonderful. Thank you, Kim, for that. The stimulates very nicely the reflexology point for sciatica on the edge of the heel. That's very interesting. I did not know that. So that's great facts. So thank you very much, everyone, for sharing that. So we can come to sitting if you want to, or stay standing. I'm going to get a little bit closer and we're going to start some dough in and tapping round the head and the face. So I know we've been touching our feet, unless you want to run and wash your hands, but they are your own feet. We're going to rub the hands together and then we're going to place them over the eyes. So our liver channel opens to the eyes. So when we're tired, feeling a little bit weak, maybe your eyes are tired and dry. So we're going to give them some nourishing qi and love. All right. And then placing the hands over the eyeballs, releasing the elbows down towards the chest, and then just resting a little bit of the head weight into the hands. And we're just going to take an easy breath in. And then breathing out. Breathing in. And then perhaps breathing out like a straw, like we did at the beginning. And then one more deeper breath in. And then breathing out. Then very slowly bringing the head back to the center. So we've got the weight off the hands. We're slowly going to release the hands away from the eyes. You can keep your eyes closed. Obviously, if you need to look at the screen to see what I'm doing, I'll describe as best as I can. So we're going to go down to the sides of either eye, towards the corner of the eye a little bit. You might want to give them a little kind of circle rub either side of the temples. Great. And then very gently with loose wrists and easy fingertips, just going to gently tap either side of the head there. Oh, easy breath. Release the jaw and the tongue in the mouth. Great. And then we're going to zip up towards the middle part of the eyebrow on the forehead. And then with the thumb and fingers, we're going to make a nice banana shape over the side of the head and behind the ears. And we'll do that again. So front of the head, so the thumb's on the side a little bit more. We're tapping into gallbladder, releasing the sides of the head and any tension there. Drawing it downwards. Wonderful. And then it goes into the back of the neck. So I'll turn round. So we've got our governing vessel that comes up the midline. Either side of the spine is bladder. We've got a lovely bladder 10. And then we've got gallbladder. So the flat part of the neck at the back is where the gallbladder lies. So you might want to tap into this part here. It's a really good one for sending energy downwards, releasing any tension in the neck. Or you might want to take a hold of your head and use your thumbs into this part. So it's not either side of the spine, it's the next little dip out on the just under the occipital ridge. And you might want to roll the head from one side to the other into the thumbs. Wonderful. And then either interlacing the fingers and using the heels on both hands or using one hand, we're just going to squeeze down either side of the neck into the bladder channel. Easy breath. Lovely. Or with both hands. I find it easier with one. So do whatever feels good for you, what works for you. Great. And I'm going to turn back again. Let's get a little bit into stomach so we can help that stress descend downwards. So it starts into the pupil of the eye. Obviously, we're not tapping that. We're going to go down, so it goes straight down from the eye because we see food or we see something desirable and we want to embrace it or eat it. And it comes down just below the eye and then onto the cheekbone. So very gently tapping underneath the eye, very lightly. Underneath that cheekbone there, we've got stomach 3. It's a lovely point. Either side of the mouth. You might want to do that again. Tapping just underneath the eye, underneath the cheekbone, either side of the mouth, and then very gently stroking the throat on the front, downwards. This is a really nice one for draining the lymphatic system. Lovely. Great. And then I'm going to come up to standing to do the next little bit. We're going to find our chest. So tapping across the chest and the lungs. Oh, you might want to do fingertips or loose fist. Oh, that's a bit much for me today. So I'm going to do fingertips. Wonderful. And we're going to extend one arm out. We're going to tap into that lung point. There's a dip in the shoulder at the front. This is where the lung channel begins. We're going to tap down the top edge of the inside of the arm all the way to the thumb. Into the lung channel. Easy breath. Oh, we're going on with the elbow. That's nice. We'll clear that. All the way to the thumb. We're going to turn the hand over, up the index finger, up the kind of top back edge of the arm, all the way to the shoulder. We'll do that once more on this side. We can be gentle. I don't know. I feel like we need a good clear out all the way to the thumb, to the lungs. Turn the hand over, up the index finger, into the elbow, all the way up to the shoulder. Do the same the other side, into the chest here. You can use a loose fist if that feels okay. So edge, top edge of the inside of the arm, the lung, to the thumb. Turn the hand over, up the index finger, and it draws all the way up the top back edge of the arm to the shoulder. So just reaching as far as feels comfortable on the shoulder. We'll do the same thing again. the way to the thumb. And then the index finger upwards to the shoulder. Great. And then how is it? We're going to sweep one hand all the way up towards the sky, softening the elbow and the wrist. And the other hand is going to, sorry, I'm going to sneeze, is going to come from the armpit all the way down to the hip. So you can use the palm of your, hand, or you can use the little finger edge. So do whatever feels comfortable. Achoo, excuse me, really clearing something out. So from the armpit down the sides of the ribs, either the palm of the hand, or you can use your little finger edge. Probably some pollen of some sort irritating my nasal passages this morning. Always downwards, working down from the armpit down the side of the ribs. And we're going to do the same with the other arm. Release that one, draw this arm up towards the sky, and the same thing again from the armpit. Down the side of the ribs and into the hip there. Wonderful. Easy breath, always working downwards from the armpit to the hip. We'll do one more and then release the arm above the head. And we're going to come into the sides of our glutes. I'll turn around, loose fists, either side of the glute. So you've got the sacrum and then the iliac crest here. And we're going to just draw out, there's like a nice point, jumping mound, gallbladder 30. Just going to gently, or a little bit firmly, if that feels okay, tapping into this lovely point here. Wonderful. Oh, that feels good, doesn't it? Then we're going to go down the sides of the legs, our stripes down, our joggers. We're following that. We're going to tap down the outside of the legs, softening the knees, release the head all the way down to the fourth toe. And then we're going to find the big toe. And we've already found liver 3 on the top of the foot there. So we're going to connect into that liver 3. And then come up the insides, really the insides of the legs, especially the inner thighs. And then up to the pelvis. We'll go again, softening the knees, either sides of the legs. Release the head to the fourth toe. And then find the big toe in that space between the metatarsals, liver 3. And then tapping all the way up the inside of the legs. Of course, if it's really uncomfortable to find your feet as we're hanging over, imagining that we're connecting into that point. So let's just do that once more, going all the way down to the fourth toe, finding the big toe, metatarsal, and then tapping all the way up the inside of the legs. Wonderful. And then the same thing again. We're just going to roll the hands round the hara. Right hip, right ribs, left hip. I think what's that? Clockwise. Rolling round the hara. Wonderful. Easy breath. And then slowly making that circle smaller until we rest the hands underneath the belly button. And we just stand or sit. And everything's easy and resting. Lovely. All right. So from here, calm and sit down again. We've got a lovely 5 minutes left. Yes, the armpit is very true, Kim. Stimulates the lymphatic system there. I think the lymphatic system likes to move inwards. I might have got that wrong, rather than outwards. So you can kind of brush inwards to release the lymphatic system to the chest, and then it drains down. Before we close the session, I want to share the slides again, our liver 3 point. So if you'd like to connect in with your foot again, please do. I'm going to read from this little book Images and Functions of Acupuncture Points by Arnie Lade. About liver 3, the image of it is really lovely. So I thought, whilst you connect in with it, liver 3 again, or maybe you just want to come and lie down. And it's called the Great Thoroughfare. It's the source, the stream, and the earth point of the liver channel, very grounding. It's located in the depression distal to the junction of the first and second metatarsal bones. The image the name refers to this point's function as a strategic and important passageway for the flow of channel Qi. Furthermore, Chong, so its name in Chinese is Tai Chong. Chong suggests the intense quality of Qi which can be experienced when needling this point. Chong may also allude to the penetrating vessel which crosses this point. That's another thing that we won't go into today. But it's really great at regulating and tonifying the liver. The Qi, the Yang, the blood, and the Yin invigorates the blood, transforms damp heat or dampness. It's really good at regulating the gallbladder. It helps menstruation issues, alleviates pain, and regulates Qi. It's a wonderful, wonderful point. I love it. Definitely useful for migraines, headaches, head tension, sore eyes. It can brighten up our eyes and vision, even though this point is on the foot. Great. I'll stop sharing this. So if we're connecting into our feet, just for a moment, gently coming to sit. Aha, Jane, you're correct. Penetrating vessel is also spleen 3. It connects in a little bit with liver 3 as well. I think it passes both of them, but good, I will double check. So we're just going to come and find one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. Easy shoulders. You can close your eyes if you want to. We're just going to check in with our body again. How do we feel? What do we look like? Do you notice any change from about an hour ago? Maybe you don't, and that's okay. Maybe there needs something larger to shift than just an hour of wiggling around. If you want to, you might want to make a note or a drawing of what you feel like and look like now. Or just gently hold it in your mind's eye. I'm going to make a little drawing, I think, with another piece of paper. So see what that feels like, and very gently we're going to open our eyes again, releasing the hands from the chest and the belly. I'll have a little thank you to Sarah in the chat. Seems there was a few bits and bobs popping for, Karen, underarm to hip, that's connecting in with the liver and gallbladder channel because it zigzags all the way down the sides of the body, so it helps that. I look like this now, apparently. Much more blobby, filled out with a nice heart. My legs have come back. A little bit better than when I first began. Yeah, so much easier in my whole body. So I'm glad I'm a little bit more like a filled out human-shaped balloon. I'm just going to share a poll before we close. We'll see if I can find it. How do you feel now? Are you more balanced, about the same, or less balanced? I really hope not in the less balanced section, but you never know. Oh, well, there we are. So far, everybody's more balanced. Wonderful. Have a good rest of your day. You'll get the email for a follow-up with the recording. So if you want to do this again at the weekend, if you're feeling that agitation or blocked feeling or feeling a little bit tired and weak, you can use this video again. Lovely to have you all here. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Sarah, for being on the chat. I'm going to put a little heart in there. Have a good rest of your week and see you soon. I think Shakura is in next week, so that will be lovely to see her again. She's been off, very busy around, I don't know, lots of places. All right. Oh, Jane, that's wonderful. You're breathing deeper now. That's great. Brilliant. Fantastic. Have a great day and see you soon. Bye-bye.